You okay?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Nozzolio. I'm serving as the Senate representative, as co-chair of the Public Protection Conference Committee. Pleased to be with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle in both houses. Especially pleased to be with the co-chair of, we've done this for 4 or 5 years as co-chair, and I'm a member of the Public Protection Budget Subcommittee for over a decade since we started Public Protection Budget Subcommittees. But Assemblyman Joe Lentol, it's an honor to serve with you as co-chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael, and I want to thank the members of the Public Protection Committee on both sides of the aisle, both sides of the table, as well as both sides of the aisle. And I want to pay a special shout out to Mike Nozzolio for his years of service, not only on this committee, but his years of service in the Senate and the Assembly, which are the most important years he served. And we're surely going to miss him. I know that this is his last year of service to the people of the state of New York. And would you please give him a round of applause?
Oh, no.
So I'm pleased to be here and be joined today by a panel of highly qualified members of the Senate and the Assembly who are all dedicated to promoting smart and efficient criminal justice policies in New York State. And of course, I spoke about Mike Nozzolio, and we've always worked well together in working out this particular conference committee and in general in enacting laws that have served to make the New York State a safe, large state, the safest large state in the nation, and this year it will be no different. So I just want to announce that I'm joined today by the following members of the Assembly majority. Helene Weinstein to my left, who is the chair of the Judiciary Committee. Assemblywoman Daniel O'Donnell, chair of the Corrections Committee, to her left. And Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes, chair of the Governmental Operations Committee. And Assemblymember Phil Ramos is not here yet, but we are joined by Assemblymember Louis Sepulveda, who will serve as an alternate member of the subcommittee, along with Assemblyman Ramos. Additionally, we are pleased to be joined by Assemblymember Joseph Giglio, representing, you notice how I pronounced that? So you don't say it's not Giglio, it's not Giglio, it's Giglio, representing the Assembly minority, and Assembly Member Joseph Saladino, who will serve as an alternate member. And by the way, they're both good Joes. The Assembly has also designated Katie Curtisis as our recording secretary. Curtie, would you stand up, please? So
Thank
everybody
you.
knows you. Thank you,
Katie.
Katie. So unquestionably, both the Assembly and the Senate budget proposals share a commitment to the increasing access to justice and enhancing the safety of all New Yorkers. In my view, the job of this subcommittee is and will be to ensure that vital criminal and civil justice programs continue to operate, such as alternatives to incarceration that have helped to lower our prison population and keep crime rate at its very historic low, and civil legal services which provide essential legal assistance to low-income New Yorkers, and to continue to build upon the policies that help to further reduce crime and recidivism, ensuring that we are fulfilling our constitutional obligation to provide quality public defense services across the state and promote the successful reentry of persons released from incarceration. Working with the Senate and my colleagues in the Assembly, I look forward to advancing our particular budget proposals. We approach these negotiations with a high level of optimism that we will be able to reconcile our differences and work productively towards an on-time budget, and be assured that the committee members and staff will be working hard throughout this process to accomplish a reasonable, fair, and on-time budget. Senator Nozzolio.
Thank you, Assemblyman Lenthal, for your leadership and your friendship and kind words. The members of this Public Protection Budget Subcommittee, to a person, both sides of the aisles in both houses, are committed to protecting the public. Each is distinguished within their own right of having worked on a variety of criminal justice issues important to the people of this state. I'm very honored to be on the team with all the members, and let me take this opportunity to introduce the representatives of the Senate in the deliberations. On my immediate, going from my right, Senator Patrick Gallivan, Chairman of the Crime Victims, Crime and Corrections Committee. Senator Gallivan brings with him a broad variety of criminal justice experience as a career officer in the New York State Police, as a member of the New York State Parole Board, and as an elected sheriff of the second largest county the largest county outside of New York City, Erie County. We thank Senator Gallivan for his participation. To his right is Senator Martin Golden, Chairman of the Civil Service and Pension Committee, very distinguished on a number of law enforcement issues, and a former career officer in the New York City Police Department. To his right is our alternate, John Bonasek. Senator Bonasek is Chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. To his right is Ruth Hassel Thompson, who is the ranking member on the Senate Judiciary Committee. And to her right is Thomas Croce, Chair of the Homeland Security Committee, a career officer in the United States Navy. Also part of these deliberations, and I'm very pleased he's here today as the alternate, Leroy Comrie, to be part of the deliberations, and we thank him for his work, certainly currently serving as chairman of the Election Law Committee. Pardon me? Yes.
Sorry.
Assemblyman Lenthal is already making sure that Senator Thompson was recognized. That Ruth, you have an advocate here as the chair, co-chair. It's my responsibility to outline the guidelines for the conference committee process. I'll try to summarize briefly. First and foremost, the co-chairs determine all matters of parliamentary procedure unless otherwise specified by the rules. That matters, if they cannot be resolved by the subcommittee, will be referred to the General Conference Committee. That co-chairs have designated one staff person from each body. Assemblyman Lenthal had indicated serving as secretary. For the Senate representative as secretary is Charles Pensabene, who is a fellow in the Senate Counsel's Office. Thank you. Stand up, Charles, and thank you for your working on our behalf. An alternate may participate in a subcommittee meeting but shall not vote upon any of the deliberations unless he or she has been designated to fill an excused vacancy by such committee. No subcommittee members or alternate members shall be permitted to vote via proxy. Subcommittees shall restrict the deliberations to the respective subject areas as determined by the General Conference Committee. Any issues determined to be non-germane by the co-chairs shall be referred back to the General Conference Committee. Each member shall be permitted and encouraged to engage in a reasonable time of discussion on any subject germane to the committee's deliberations. And lastly, no report shall be filed except upon the affirmative vote of the majority of the members of each House's delegation on the subcommittee. Thank you, Assembly.
Yes. So, just so that everybody's clear who's come today, the agencies of state government that will be discussed at the Public Protection Committee meetings henceforth will be the State Commission of Correction, the Department of Correction and Community Services, the Division of Criminal Justice Services, the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, Interest on Lawyers' Accounts, better known as IOLA, Judiciary, Judicial Commissions, Department of Law, Division of Military and Naval Affairs, Office of Indigent Legal Services, Office for the Prevention of Domestic Violence, Division of State Police, and the Office of Victim Services. Senator Nozzolio?
Thank you, Assemblyman Lenthal. The Assembly and the Senate both accept the executive recommendations on the following agencies: Office for the Prevention of Domestic Violence, Interest on Lawyers' Accounts, the State Commission on Corrections, and the Office of Victim Services.
The Senate and the Assembly both accept the Executive's Article 7 recommendations on Part C, proposal to suspend the annual $1.5 million transfer from the Public Safety Communications account to the Emergency Services Revolving Loan Fund for 2 years. Part E, proposal to extend for 5 years the Recruitment Incentive and Retention Program, a tuition benefit program for members of the New York Army and Air National Guard and Naval Militia.
What I propose to do is list the subject areas of major issues that will need to be addressed at this conference subcommittee level. These measures have been individually addressed by the members of the subcommittee, both houses, but this will record the major subject matters which need to be addressed. First and foremost, funding and priorities in the judiciary. The question of civil legal services, an issue that I am extremely concerned about is our issues surrounding domestic violence and the establishment of a domestic violence offender registry. The Office of Indigent Legal Services and Indigent Defense Services funding. Edward Byrne Justice Assistant Grant Program. Counterterrorism and cybersecurity questions. The Operation Snug program. Alternative to incarceration funding. The executive proposed so-called Criminal Justice Reform Act, and a Commission on Judicial Conduct funding. Lastly, appropriate equipment for those in public protection on the front lines, especially police officers and members who are serving our correctional services across this state.
Thank you. Do any of the members of the Assembly have any remarks or any comments to make?
I shall ask members of the Senate. Any member wishes to weigh in on an issue at this point?
If nobody has any questions, since we don't have a table target yet, giving us the ability to discuss what's really going to be important, the money and and how it will be dispersed by this subcommittee. I guess we can make a motion to adjourn and await until the call of the General Conference Committee as to when we shall meet again, because we don't have a date for meeting again. If nobody has any questions, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
The motion is to adjourn upon the call of the co-chairs. During our adjournment period, the staff will be working on clarifying additional questions and the issues that we had outlined to be arranged. Thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you.